January 2025. Nevada's unemployment rate holds near 5.3 to 5.6%, placing it among the highest in the country and above the national average. That number matters because, while many states have unemployment below 4.5%, Nevada's labor market has remained persistently elevated for several years. This higher rate does not reflect a sudden collapse in employment. It reflects a structural imbalance between job seekers and employer demand that has emerged over time. Nevada's economy has historically been tied to tourism, hospitality, and entertainment. As visitor volumes and economic activity recovered from pandemic lows, employment numbers improved. Yet by 2024 and into 2025, the growth in jobs stalled relative to the growth in job seekers. In July 2025, Nevada had about 67,000 job openings, up modestly from the prior month but well below earlier peaks seen in the decade. Importantly, Nevada's ratio of unemployed persons to job openings was above the national average, meaning there were more job seekers per vacancy than in most states. That ratio is a core measure of labor market balance. When unemployed workers outnumber openings, average search times lengthen, and unemployment rates can persist even without widespread layoffs. This continuing imbalance is where the story of job seekers flooding the market begins. Nevada attracts workers from other states. Domestic migration into Nevada has been strong, adding tens of thousands of new residents each year. Population growth increases the labor force, more people looking for work even when the number of job openings only grows slowly. As job seekers enter the labor force, they raise labor supply. When labor supply grows faster than hiring demand, unemployment rises mechanically. This is not anecdotal. Detailed labor market analysis shows that the number of unemployed individuals in Nevada has outpaced the number of job openings since early 2024, even as national labor demand remained robust. That statistical imbalance feeds directly into the unemployment rate. By mid-2025, monthly reports showed the unemployment rate around 5.3 to 5.4%, with minor fluctuations linked to labor force changes rather than sharp hiring shifts. In August, total non-farm employment was essentially unchanged on a year-over-year basis, and private sector employment actually fell by thousands of jobs. At the same time, some regions like Las Vegas saw net job losses in key sectors such as construction and hospitality, further slowing local hiring demand. That slowdown in job creation, combined with continued labor force growth, creates the impression of job seekers flooding the market. But this is a mechanical outcome of the data. More workers seeking employment than there are new openings to absorb them. The first effect of this imbalance is longer job search durations. When openings are relatively scarce, unemployed individuals spend more weeks searching before finding a match. Long search durations increase the number of people counted as unemployed in any given month. Survey evidence from the UNLV Center for Business and Economic Research confirms that many job seekers face structural barriers in connecting with available positions, including skills mismatches, transportation challenges, and industry preference gaps. These barriers extend beyond headline statistics. When a large share of job seekers prefers industries that are not hiring rapidly, the mismatch prolongs unemployment durations and increases measured unemployment even if total hiring occurs elsewhere. That mismatch is common in Nevada, where sectors like healthcare are projected to grow faster than transportation, hospitality, and administrative roles, the very sectors many job seekers prefer. This misalignment increases the pool of people actively looking for work without a corresponding increase in hiring. The second effect is pressure on wage dynamics. When the ratio of active job seekers to openings rises, employers face less pressure to raise wages to attract talent. This slows wage growth even as more people are available to work. Slower wage growth feeds into consumer spending trends. Household consumption drives a large portion of state economic activity. When wage growth slows, spending growth also slows. That, in turn, affects business revenues and future hiring plans. The third effect is on sectoral employment mix. Data shows that sectors with traditionally higher turnover or lower wages like food services and leisure continued hiring at a modest pace. But sectors that typically offer higher wages or long-term career opportunities, such as construction and professional services, showed weaker momentum. That structural shift matters because a labor market dominated by lower wage, higher turnover roles can produce steady job counts without significantly reducing unemployment pressure. The combination of steady but slow hiring, continued population inflow, and persistent structural frictions in job matching helps explain why unemployment in Nevada remains elevated. It also explains why the metaphor of job seekers flooding the market has traction. The number of people seeking jobs continues to rise, while the number of available positions grows more slowly. These conditions do not appear to be temporary. Nevada's unemployment rate has rarely fallen below 5% since 2022, suggesting a persistent pattern rather than short-lived fluctuation. Economists note that the state's unemployment rate has consistently hovered above most other states for several years, reflecting underlying structural dynamics rather than cyclical labor shocks. Nevada's labor market here is not collapsing. Total employment remains stable or modestly positive on a year-over-year basis. What has changed is the balance point between job seekers and openings. The number of people actively searching for employment has outpaced the pace of job creation, producing a situation where more individuals are counted as unemployed, even as employment totals remain stable. This is a statistical effect rooted in labor market dynamics. A second outcome of this imbalance is pressure on training and skills development. Surveys indicate that long-term unemployed workers face barriers to re-entry due to training gaps or credential requirements that do not align with current job openings. This slows transitions into new roles and adds to measured unemployment persistence. A third outcome is regional variation within the state. Some metropolitan areas show more robust job growth while others lag, producing uneven demand for labor across geographies. That geographic mismatch further extends average search durations. When labor supply grows through population inflows, but hiring demand remains uneven and constrained, the system does not rebalance quickly. Instead, the unemployment rate adjusts upward as more people are counted as actively seeking work but not yet matched to stable positions. In summary, Nevada's labor market in 2025 reflects a persistent structural imbalance between job seekers and openings. Unemployment remains elevated near 5.3 to 5.6%. Population growth continues to add workers to the pool. Employers hire at a slower pace relative to labor supply. Job seeker experiences, surveys document mismatches and barriers to re-employment. These dynamics produce measurable outcomes in unemployment statistics, wage pressures, and search durations. They do so without requiring dramatic layoffs or sudden economic shocks. The data describes a labor market with more people seeking work than there are immediate high-quality openings, a technical imbalance, not a collapse. That is the data-driven reality of Nevada's labor market conditions in 2025.